Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here. This is the 147th episode of the American Reveille Podcast. And if you didn't know, you better get to know. The woke thing to do, I don't know if anybody's told you. Come here, I want to tell you a secret. The woke thing to do is to hate the Jew. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Pass it on. Let the entire right know. The woke thing to do is to hate the Jew. Because I don't know if you haven't noticed, but the violence against Jews is rising worldwide. All right, ladies and gentlemen, worldwide. The radicalism on the left is spreading. It's spreading like a cancer. And now in our streets, in our schools, in our homes, they preach death to Israel. This is the Marxist plan. This is the reset of the United States of America. This is the American Reveille Podcast, and we're going to blow this stuff up next. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here. This is episode 147 of the American Reveille Podcast, and just in case you missed it, woke left radicalism has spread across the globe like a cancer, like a tumor, encompassing and covering the entirety of the left, whether they know it or not. All right. There are groups attacking Jews in the streets of our major cities across this country. It's not just Asian Americans. It's Jews as well. OK, it's Jews as well, the most oppressed class of people in the entire world. But hey, don't say anything. Don't look at anything. Don't believe the facts. Right? Because it's all about skin color now. It's all about groups now. It's all about divide and conquer now, right, ladies and gentlemen? It's all about taking blacks, whites, Latinos. It's about taking Asians. It's about taking everybody and separating them into their own tribes and having them duke it out so that hopefully our society collapses and the great socialist Marxist dream can rise from the ashes. But ladies and gentlemen, that won't happen. It's not going to happen. Even if it got that far, we would descend into anarchy, and strong people across this country would either defend or devour the weak and innocent. This dream doesn't go the way they think it does. But don't worry, don't fret. It doesn't get that far, I promise. I've done the strategy. I've done the chess moves. I'm like Dr. Strange at the end of the Avengers. What is that? The Infinity Wars, the second one where he's sitting there, or maybe it's the first one. He's like, they're like, what the F is he doing? What the hell are you doing, Dr. Strange? He's like, there's 9 billion outcomes and we all die in every single one of them. But there's one where we don't. And this is the one where we don't. Well, guess what, folks? This is the one where we don't all die. Okay, whether you get the reference I just made or not, I really don't care. What you have to understand is we are driving forward. The left is cracking. The left is falling apart under the weight of their own internal civil war. Remember, they project onto us what they do themselves. So when they say we're falling apart, they're falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. There are tons of Democrats, so-called Democrats, because I don't even know what you define people as anymore, because the old definitions don't fit the words. The words are all changed. Everything's been jarbled around. But Democrats... All right, Democrats are fighting each other over the far left insanity, the socialism, the condemnation of Israel, the chance of death to Israel, the hate stoked against the Jewish people, and now Jews being attacked in cities. And now some Democrats, mostly with their blinders on, but some a little bit off, they're stepping up and they're saying, hey, what the F? We're attacking Israel now? And you got AOC in the squad and Tlaib and they don't give a crap. Just putting their finger up. They don't give a crap. So what's going to happen? Well, I think we should stand back and let them duke it out. But you know, stuff's been happening in this country for a long time, for years now. I found 3 great articles about what has been going on, about the attacks on Jews, the attacks on even on Asians. One of these articles involves Asians. I'm married to an Asian woman, so trust me, I understand and and sympathize. I really do. My children are mixed. Listen, we've got another article about attacks on Jews coming from the left, the anti-Zionist lie that they like to spread that spreads actual anti-Semitism, actual racism. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about how the woke use this and wield this as a weapon. The true enemy here, the true enemy of the state, the true terrorism is wokeness. It's critical race theory. It's this entire Marxist movement that has swept this country and taken the world, not just this country, but the world by storm. The Great Reset, all that crap, it's real. These things are happening. The balls are in motion, but we are playing a game of chess. There was once a game on Windows. Back when I was younger, I had Windows 95. For all of us older folks out there, we remember back in the 90s, Windows 95 was out, and there was a game on there, if you were lucky enough to have it, not the 3D Space Cadet pinball, that came out later. I'm talking about battle chess. There were these 3D pieces, and you'd play chess, and they would decapitate the other member and take over the piece and all that. It was real crappy graphics. I was young, but hey, I was a sharp kid. I played a lot of chess, all right, guys? That is what we're doing right now. We're playing chess, and we've won some, they've won some, but in the end, the light will prevail, all right? Listen, there is no room for evil here. There is no room for darkness here. The dark times that Joe Biden likes to spew. There's no room for it. It's not going to happen. There are too many patriots like you and I that stand in the way, okay? Freedom shall prevail. Justice shall prevail. We do the pledge every day on social media. If you're not following me on social media, you're wrong. Come on. Go to Gab. Go to Parler. Go to MeWe. Look at all of these things. Check this out. There's my Gab page right here. We did the pledge today, Monday. Pledge time. Happy Monday, Patriots. We do the Pledge of Allegiance every day on there. People love it. American_Reveille. Follow me on Gab. Same thing on MeWe. Follow me on MeWe if you don't want to be on Gab. We do the same thing on Parler. It's easy to find me on all social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whatever the hell you want to get on there. American_Reveille. That's REVEILLE. Not hard to find, guys. Not hard to find. At the same time, do me another favor. All right, guys, I want you to check out my sponsor for a minute. All right. We don't have a lot of money here. We're doing everything grassroots. We're really trying to survive right now. The censorship is killing us, but we're doing the best we can. And we have this fantastic sponsor that provides me with Ancient Life Oil. It's an amazing CBD oil. If you've been following this for a while, you know that I'm broken and battered. You know I got injuries. You know, between the military, between wrestling, between all of the different physical things I've done over the decades, I'm lucky I'm walking. I use CBD oil to really help take some of the edge off of the pain. I use it to de-stress. I use it to help me get through anxiety, different issues. It's natural. It's good for you. It's non-hallucinogenic. It's not from THC. This stuff comes straight from hemp, and it's fantastic. All right. It has the chemical compounds you need to take care of the ailments that are bothering you. But at the same time, it doesn't have any of those chemicals that make you all wackadoodle. Okay. Nothing against it. People do what they're going to do. I'm pretty libertarian in that sense. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a product that's not going to screw you up on any sort of test, but it's going to help take the edge off of things, Ancient Life Oil is for you. Fantastic CBD oil. It's 100% made in the USA. Go to ancientlifeoil.com, ANCIENT lifeoil.com. All right, folks, I'll even show you the website really quick. Take a look at this. Welcome to Ancient Life Oil. It's some great stuff. They have a full spectrum organic CBD. All right. It supports normal everyday stresses, healthy recovery from exercise, calm, focus. It has no psychoactive effects. This stuff is great. Use promo code JAMES, JAMES. Promo code JAMES gets you free shipping and handling, guys. And they don't just have this product. They have all different types of products in here. All right. They have broad spectrum oils. They've got choco mint flavor, cinnamon flavor, all of these different sizes and shapes, different prices. This stuff is great, though. I really do use it. I really have it. I have the stuff right here. It's like behind all of this. Hold on. Look. Boom. See them right here? All right. I take them twice a day, guys. Twice a day. And this stuff really, really does help. I don't put anything on this show, anything whatsoever, that I don't use myself. They do it in like a coconut oil, so it doesn't taste bad at all. Like this one doesn't have a flavor, the one that I'm taking, but it tastes like coconuts. and you can always try the other flavors. Like I said, they've got the cinnamon and all that other stuff. It's good. You take it, put it in there, let it roll, get it down, builds up in the system, and really helps out over time, guys. That's Ancient Life Oil. AncientLifeOil.com, ANCIENT, lifeoil.com, promo code James, free shipping and handling. I'm not going to go on and on about it. You know me, you trust me. I really appreciate you taking care of them, because by taking care of them, they take care of me, all right? If you don't feel like donating or anything like that, but you've got some back problems, some different things, some neck problems, some stresses that you'd like to try to find a natural remedy for, take care of my sponsor, Ancient Life Oil, AncientLifeOil.com, promo code James, free shipping and handling. Get yourself some Ancient Life Oil, and they'll keep sponsoring our show and give us the little bit of cash that we get so that we can kind of take care of some of the stuff on the back end. All right, folks, thank you so much. Stick around. Like I said at the end, I put a 2 or 3 minute video together telling you a little more about Ancient Life Oil if you aren't convinced yet. All right, guys, so listen. We're going to talk all about what is happening in our cities, what's happening to the Jews, what's happening to minority communities, the real truth about the attacks on Jews, about the woke left and how they feel about the community. You're not going to find stuff like this anywhere else. Nobody else, everybody else has more money than me. That's pretty much what it is. They've got more money and they've been doing it longer, so they don't want to touch these subjects. They're like, oh, screw that. I'll just go talk about Liz Cheney for a while. I'll go talk about Rand Paul getting death threats, blah, 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 blah. No one's going to talk about the Jew hate because they don't want to get banned. I don't make money. All right. I'm trying to make some money off of this so I can hire more people, take care of some families, build some jobs, build some careers for folks, make this large national media company a thing. But in the meantime, I don't really have much to lose. So I'll cover these risque, hard topics. And shalom, I'm Jewish. So left, come get some. Come get some, all right? I'm not Ben Shapiro. I'm like Ben Shapiro hulked out. You don't like Ben Shapiro when he's mad. I'm like large, bald, ugly, super poor, extra angry Ben Shapiro. Don't F with me. I'm just as smart, twice as large. I'll tear your arms off and beat you to death with them. Folks, if you're having fun so far, if you like the topic, if you're getting excited, you want to hear about all this and go through it with me, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, share. All right, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, give me that 5-star rating. I work real hard to put these together. And without further ado, this report comes from Nolte on Breitbart. Democrat-run cities can't or won't protect the Jews and Asians from hate crime explosion. Oh, you didn't know? Well, I guess your head's been under a rock because people have been attacking Jews and Asians. It's not just Asians. People are attacking the Jews. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My people were also slaves, just saying. Do you like those pyramids out there? Just saying. Just saying. I want to read this. This is John Nolte. It came out May 24th, 2021, on my birthday. Every time I write something like the following, it feels silly and obvious, but sometimes the silly and obvious still must be said. Imagine the media landscape today if roving bands of white supremacists were flying the Confederate flag out of their vehicles and stopping only to assault Jews. Imagine CNN, imagine NBC, imagine the New York Times, the Washington Post. If that were happening, we would be at DEFCON 1 in this country, and yet this is exactly what's happening to American Jews, and we're not at DEFCON 1. But only because the roving bands of anti-Semitic thugs are Middle Eastern. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You're not allowed to say anything at all about Muslims, about the Muslim community, about Middle Easterners. If they're not white and attacking a minority, they are not allowed to be talked about. It is taboo. It is racist to bring up any race other than white people hurting anything or anyone. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. All right. Remember how they all went to DEFCON 1 when they thought they could blame it on former President Trump and his white supremacist supporters? Do you remember that? Do you remember how CNN and NBC and the New York Times, the Washington Post, they reported an explosion in hate crimes against Asians. And do you remember how all of that disappeared? Do you remember how that vanished? Do you remember where it went and why? Why did it disappear? Well, not because hate crimes have ceased against Asians. No. The narrative disappeared because almost every time one of these anti-Asian bigots was arrested and caught on video, you know what I'm about to say, folks. Do you read this? Look at this face. Look at that face right here. They weren't white. I said it. Say it, Dan. Say it, Ben. Say it, everybody. They weren't white. White people are not going around hurting Asian people. You want an opinion? Go ask my green card carrying wife. She'll slap you in the freaking mouth. That's what'll happen. She is terrifying. Woo! Terrifying. I give her all the money and I hide in the studio for my life. The whole narrative, it disappeared. But the hate crimes didn't disappear. They didn't. The narrative just went. All right? The narrative went, like I said, because of skin color. It didn't fit what the left was crying. We live in a world where the establishment media are willing to spend years flat out lying about Trump, saying Nazis were very fine people, but are all covering up the actual and real hate crimes that are occurring in this country. Another reason for this cover-up. All right. Another reason for this cover-up is the location of these ongoing hate crimes. You ready for this? You know what I'm going to say, because they're not in our flyover states. I wish I was in one, by the way. I'm like 30 minutes south of Seattle, like 20 minutes to another direction of Tacoma. We're not in Trump country, but trust me, Florida's in my dreams, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really is. Although Asians and Jews live in rural MAGA land, there's a synagogue in my small southern town. And although those Asians and Jews are vastly outnumbered by white southern boys, these appalling hate crimes aren't happening where the media claim all the racists live. You know, out here in rural MAGA land. No, these appalling hate crimes are all happening where Democrats live and where Democrats govern. Ding, 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 ding. If you didn't know, now you know. Spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. You really should know this already. There are no hate crimes happening in Goshen, Alabama. There are no hate crimes happening in Biloxi, wherever that is. There's none happening in Jefferson, wherever the heck that is. Jefferson, somethingville, Southernville, USA. It's not happening in Georgia, 3 hours in another direction from Atlanta. It's not happening in Troy, Alabama. It's not happening in Florida, at least not in the blue counties or outside of the blue counties. Excuse me. Everything south, Orlando and south is like blue paradise. Everything above it, everything to the left and the right. Florida, all right, Florida's got their stuff under control. It's happening in Seattle. It's happening in New York City. It's happening in New Jersey. It's happening in New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening in San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles. I could just keep naming California cities that's happening. It's not happening in, it's maybe happening in Austin, Texas, but it's probably not happening in, I don't know, Corpus Christi, Texas. Anybody from Corpus Christi, you let me know. I am all over the place with it, but I have to be because it is true. We could just name random lands from sea to shining sea in the southern red states. And that is where we treat minorities the best, where everybody is taken care of equally, where we love everybody regardless of the color of their skin, the content of their character, regardless, all right, of the color of their skin, based upon their character, based upon the good-hearted person that they are, not upon skin color or class or wealth. We don't do that. All right. I might live in a blue area, but I don't do that. But I see it. I see it in these blue areas. You see it too, ladies and gentlemen. You see it too. Look at this. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators were filmed Thursday as they attacked Jews in Manhattan. That came from Breitbart on the 21st. How in the world is it possible that out in rural MAGA land, where all the racists supposedly live, Jews and Asians are much safer than in these deep blue utopias where Democrats govern without Republican interference, where Democrats all live? The asking of the question answers the question. And I've told you the answer to this question. The answer to the question is simple. The Democrats have always been racist. It's just that we've lifted the veil. Now you see the truth. All right. They were the descendants, all right, of the bad folks in government who punished not just the Southerners, but the blacks after and during Reconstruction. They are the descendants. They are the people that are literally connected to the folks that want to imprison and enslave and enchain people. All right. They want to put people in digital chains and financial ruin and then tax them and take their money. They give them crumbs, they give us free money. They give out free money. But do you know how much money they make? They're literally taking out the cheese grinder, all right, and giving them a little bit of the shaky cheese while keeping the Gouda to themselves. All right. Nobody's winning there except the rich politicians in charge of the Democrat cities. All right. They all live in mansions. I promise you that. They all live in mansions. And I'm telling you, none of this is happening in the Republican run cities and states. All right. Nowhere near, at least to the extent that the Democrats are allowing it to occur. The Democrats enjoy anti-Semitism. The Democrats get off on hatred. And there are plenty of Jewish folks in the Jewish community who identify as Democrats, but they are blind. They're identifying as Kennedy-era Democrats, and Trump would be considered a Kennedy-era Democrat. That's how it works. That's what it is. It's the cold, hard truth, folks. It's the cold, hard truth, all right? The left is full of blinders, and they're walking themselves off a cliff. They're walking themselves off a cliff. It's insane. It's terrifying and absolutely insane. It says, even though they are vastly outnumbered here, Asians and Jews are not being targeted and hunted in rural MAGA land. Quite the contrary. Out here, where all us supposed racists live, racial minorities are safe. They're welcome. Nope. It's in these deep blue utopias like San Francisco and New York City, where Asians and Jews are being targeted and hunted. And this is why fake journalists like Jake Tapper have suddenly found their hate crime high horse too uncomfortable to climb up on. Let me be very clear about something. Let me be crystal GD clear. Hey, I've gotten a lot of people asking me to curse less. I'm trying. All right. I'm trying. It says, let me be crystal GD clear. This and 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 this did not happen in real America. No, it happened in deep blue utopias called New York City, called San Francisco, called Seattle, called San Diego, we can keep going and going and going and going, ladies and gentlemen. This and this and this did not happen in real America. It happened in the deep blue utopia called Los Angeles. It did not happen in real America. It happened in the utopia called Denver. This and this and this and this and this did not happen in real America. It happened in the deep blue utopia called San Francisco. I almost put a T in there and made it another curse word, but you can use your imagination. I could go on and on and on, and you know it. And you know it. What's happening here is very simple. The Democrat Party and their allies in the media, entertainment, big tech, and academia are openly and vigorously embracing fascistic ideas like woke and critical race theory and the like, and the Jews have always been the canaries in the coal mine for creeping fascism. You're welcome, everybody else. Like the brown shirts of Nazi Germany, fascist anti-Semites are emboldened watching how the corporate media and Democrats have smeared Israel during the recent outbreak of violence in Gaza, have watched how synagogues were targeted by New York's mayor, during the anti-science lockdowns as he allowed the terrorists in Black Lives Matter and Antifa to loot and burn. And now the thugs feel comfortable taking their thuggery and bigotry out in the open on the streets of the deep blue utopia, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. It's true. The Jews are being targeted, and it should be a warning to every single peace-loving, capitalism-loving, freedom-loving American in this country. All right? We're dropping dead in the coal mine. It's time to watch your house. Man your land, ladies and gentlemen. This hate crime crisis is not an American problem. All right. It is a Democrat-run city epidemic, a Democrat problem. And some of these Democrats, some of these radicals, these woke leftists, I don't consider them American. So no, it's not an American problem. It is a deep blue utopia problem. Deep blue utopias where the Democrat leaders either don't know how to stop it or don't want to stop it. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I think as long as the cash comes in, they don't care. They don't care. Are you enjoying what we're doing so far? Hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, hit it for me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, leave me a comment, all right? They erase them off YouTube, all right? They erase them off YouTube. I've gone viral 3 times. I've watched the numbers skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands. I've watched them go delete, 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 and disappear right in front of my very eyes. So I'm counting on you, patriots. I'm counting on you to spread the word. If you don't know about some different alternatives to YouTube, let me show you something real quick. They have what's called BitChute right here. BitChute's really, really awesome. All right. It is an alternate platform. It's really simple. It's really basic. You can find me at American_Reveille on BitChute, Gab TV. You've heard of Gab, the new social media platform. Look, I showed it to you right here. I'm at American_Reveille on Gab. But you can also find me on Gab TV. I have a channel there as well. Look at this. GabTV.com, all right, or tv.gab.com, but you can just literally look it up or just go to the description section below. Everything's in the description section, all right? We got tons of views on here, 200 views there, 200 views there, 500 views there, American_Reveille. That's where you find me. I branded this real simple for you guys, American, AMERICAN_Reveille. Of course, we're on Rumble. Rumble's real hard. They're hard for monetization. You have to be monetized on Rumble in order for the algorithm to pick you up and show people your videos. So if you prefer Rumble, you know where to find me, American_Reveille. And of course, my favorite is Odyssey, ODYSEE. They're taking advantage of blockchain technology, folks. They're using blockchain technology to run a video site, and it's really awesome. I really like it. I think they've controls that are better than YouTube, ODYSEE. I'm there as well at American_Reveille. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. I'm plugging them because I'm on their platform. So the better they do, the better I do. I need the patriots to see our work. We're waking up Americans across this great land, and we have work to do, and we need your help. So check out these sites, spread these things around, all right? You can go in the description section below, find the links to all of our social media, all of our audio podcasts, all of our video podcasts, all of the different platforms and everything else, all right? And again, please do me a favor. If you haven't decided, if you're thinking about it, if you've been looking into CBD oil, go to ancientlifeoil.com, use promo code James, free shipping and handling, get yourself some amazing American-made CBD oil today from Ancient Life Oil. Guys, the attacks are up. Violent attacks on American Jews prove anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, and we've been screaming it. We've been screaming it and screaming it, and nobody's listening. Oh, just help the Palestinians. Oh, Iran, they're misunderstood. China, they wouldn't kill Uyghurs. Ha, ha, ha. No, and then, now Jews are getting the shit kicked out. Sorry, well, that's one curse word. It's one. They're getting the stuff kicked out of them. I'm trying. They're getting the stuff kicked out of them in the streets of blue cities across this country. And it's sick. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Wake up and call it out. What is wrong with you? Call it out. Do your job. Be an American. Be a patriot. Intervene. All right? You don't have to get physical or violent unless you see somebody being violent. All right, and hurting somebody, but make sure you open your mouth wide unless you want World War II to repeat itself. All right, because if the fascists win, we end up with a dictator. We end up with genocide in the United States. Could you even begin to imagine? So do the right thing and open your mouth. This is an article from the National Review. It's from David Harsanyi. It came out May 21st, 2021, and I bet most of you have never heard of it. That's why I'm here to bring you the news that the other people are afraid to tell you about. Violent attacks on violent attacks on American Jews prove anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. All right. Tell me it's not about the Jews. There's a picture right here of a pro-Palestinian protester and protesters marching on Times Square from May 11th. Jews did a march the other day. Some Palestinian sympathizers, Middle Eastern men showed up and kicked the crap out of them. That's what we do to Jews in New York now, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe that's why we all moved to Florida. I was born in Florida. I can say that too. Boom. I don't care. Take it. Take it. Deal with it. Deal with it. You're going to have to deal with it. Anyway, let's read. This week, a wave of Jew hatred broke out across the United States. You may not have heard much about it since the media, so skilled at detecting every racist dog whistle and secret Nazi handshake, have been largely AWOL on the issue. In West Los Angeles, men waving Palestinian flags drove in a caravan through a Jewish neighborhood, shouting slogans like Israel kills children. Excuse me. You know what? I'm going to start that sentence over. In West Los Angeles, men waving Palestinian flags drove in a caravan through a Jewish neighborhood, shouting slogans like Israel kills children through a megaphone and getting out of their cars to attack Jewish diners at tables on the sidewalk. In Manhattan, another caravan of men with Palestinian flags drove through the Diamond District, burning one person and attacking others whom they believed to be Jewish. I think it's about time somebody called the Bear Jew. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen that movie, give me a shout out in the comments. Also in New York City, a gang of men chanting anti-Israel slogans harassed and spat at people eating outside. If there was such attacks against Muslims, the media would rightly speak of nothing else right now. Listen to me. I'm going to talk directly to you. Anybody sympathizing with these people. If I am outside, all right, and I'm eating a nice Reuben sandwich, all right, with a good deli pickle, a good crispy light green deli pickle. You know what I'm talking about, some matzo ball soup. Anyway, get rid of the Reuben. A lox and schmear on an everything bagel, some capers, cream cheese, red onions, some tomato. Oh, I want to nosh on that. If you come F with me while I'm eating that, if you toss my food over and spit on me, I'm going to beat you in the street within an inch of your life. All right? I'm forewarning you right now. Don't F with me. I'm not the guy. I'm not the Jew to F with, ladies and gentlemen, and there are a lot of folks that aren't to be messed with. But these folks, they don't pick on people like me. They don't pick on patriots like you. They pick on the weak, the innocent, and the unsuspecting, ladies and gentlemen. The unsuspecting. It says, if there were such attacks against Muslims, the media would rightly speak of nothing else right now. Nothing else. But apparently Jews aren't protected anymore. Note, these weren't clashes between pro-Israel demonstrators and pro-Palestinian demonstrators. They were attacks by the latter on whatever Jews they could find, and they should prove the falsehood of the narrative that anti-Zionism is distinct from anti-Semitism. It's not. If you are against Israel government policy and protocol, you are against the Jews. Period. Period. I don't give a crap about what rockets were sent from Israel into Gaza. Level Gaza at this point. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. All right, we're talking ancient holy war, ladies and gentlemen. Ancient holy war. You can figure it out however you want. I really don't care, but it needs to be figured out. Do I want people to die? No. Do kids deserve to die? No. But if you launch 1,000 Iranian-funded missiles into Jerusalem, there are consequences. Sorry, not sorry. Leave some hateful comments. I don't care. Send me some hate mail. I get enough. Note, again, these weren't clashes between pro-Israel demonstrators or Palestinian demonstrators. They were randomly attacking any Jew they could assume was a Jew. All right? They claim anti-Zionism, but the proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words, folks, and nobody seems to look at the actions. They just seem to look at the emotion. What is consequential, we're reading again, in the long term is the normalization of the sentiments that drive this hatred. If it's not the Washington Post running op-eds arguing that justice and a Jewish homeland can't coexist, it's the Obama bros who helped to transform the Democrat Party on the Israel issue, asking their millions of followers to donate to the Islamic Relief Charity even after the Biden State Department cut ties to that organization for promoting anti-Semitism. Parenthetical, the tweet making this appeal has since been deleted. The Union at the New Yorker, once the most prestigious magazine of culture in America with central importance to many American Jews, tweeted out, quote, solidarity with Palestinians from the river to the sea, end quote. The latter phrase, a Hamas-inspired genocidal slogan. And by the way, Hamas came out today and personally thanked Iran for paying for the rockets that killed Israelis. You won't see that on CNN, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. Look it up. I won't dare tell you to Google it. DuckDuckGo it. DuckDuckGo it. Trust me. Trust me. It's out there. It happened. It happened. All right. So it says the latter phrase, a Hamas-inspired genocidal slogan with the plain meaning of which is the elimination of Israel. Parenthetical, that tweet too was deleted and replaced with a revised one still expressing solidarity. But sorry about that Hamas language. You remember? We used to be able to go to the Black Lives Matter website, and it said that they stood for the destruction of the nuclear family and bringing forth a socialist utopia. It's not there anymore, but for legalese, it was there long enough. But nobody remembers that because we live in goldfish brain world. Everyone seems to forget everything every 5 seconds. But you shouldn't forget that evil, twisted, hateful, vitriol, and the intention of the radical left. And the intention goes to show, as Jews are being attacked in the street, they remain silent. AOC hates Jews. Period. Perhaps the New Yorker Union was inspired by Representative Rashida Tlaib, a member of the squad and one of a contingent of Hamas supporters now vocally present in one of the major American political parties. One wishes the media gave the squad's recent House floor statement slandering the Jewish state a fraction of the attention they give the rantings of largely powerless white supremacists. The squad gins up anti-Jewish anger by lying about U.S. aid to Israel, falsely and ludicrously alleging that Israel practices apartheid, which it doesn't, lying about Israel's counterterrorism efforts, which are the most humane and effective in the world, all right, and the causes of the present conflict, and comparing Hamas's openly anti-Semitic mission to the struggle of Black Americans against police brutality. All this is going on as craven Democrats cower. Most Democrats aren't saying anything, but as we read before and as I've talked about, some are finally starting to stand up, causing divide, cracks, and civil war within the party itself. But openly, the other day, BLM came out. BLM condemned Israel and stood by Palestine. How many more signs do you need? All right. Do we need to start pulling out that old thing? Here's your sign. It's not even my thing. All right. Who was that? That was Bill Engvall or something like that. Listen. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it waddles like a duck and it poops weird liquidy water bird poop like a duck. All right. It eats bread when you throw it like a duck. It floats in the lake like it's a duck. BLM is condemning Israel. They're supporting Palestine. They're calling for the overthrow of capitalism, the destruction of the nuclear family. It's Marxism! Like, it's not common sense. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's really, really, really simple. And we're surrounded by a lot of really, really stupid people. Really stupid people. That's how stupid they are. They're so stupid you need to shake it out. Shake it out. These are the same people, incidentally, who lobby the Biden administration to take it easy on Chinese communists. A regime unleashing genuine widespread repression and ethnic cleansing on Muslim minorities. So again, tell me, it's not about the Jews. It's not surprising that the intersectional ideas of the American progressive are now being transposed onto issues that have nothing to do with race. Then again, the hard left has always, since Marx sounded off on the Jewish question, viewed Jewish identity as problematic, and since Israel's founding, anti-Zionist terrorism and harassment. whether perpetrated by Palestinians, Soviet-backed Arab states, theocratic Arab states, the Iranian government, terror groups such as the German Baader Meinhof gang, or bands of leftists on college campuses, has targeted Jews as a whole and not merely Israelis. This began long before Benjamin Netanyahu was elected prime minister, long before Gaza was under the control of Hamas, and long before the West Bank was an occupied territory. Anti-Zionism is the leading justification for violence against Jews in the world. But don't be fooled. Rather than claiming that Jews are members of secret unpatriotic international cabals or accusing them of using the blood of Christian children to bake their bread, no, today's anti-Semites accuse the Jewish state, which acts as any responsible nation would in protecting its citizens from terror, of existing for nefarious purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, they use Israel as a scapegoat to attack individual Jews. They use Israel as an excuse to come into people like me, into my home, to hurt my children, to steal my property, to take us to camps, to put us in gas chambers. And if you don't think it could happen here, then you've got another thing coming, ladies and gentlemen. The canary's dead, all right? And I'm not your average Jew. I'm not. You'll see. Give me a couple years. Watch. Just watch the papers. Israel. All right, don't. By the way, government, since you're controlled by a bunch of leftist, insane people, when I say watch the papers, I mean watch the papers because I'm going to be very, very rich and successful and do a bunch of stuff legally, all right, to put chess pieces on the board and checkmate the left. That's what I'm talking about. When I say check the papers, I'm not like, oh, I'm a crazy person going to do something crazy. Get off your high horse, lefties. That's not what the hell I'm talking about. It's even ridiculous I have to say that, but I have to say that, or freaking people in black ski masks are going to kick my window in and zip tie a bag on my head and take me to freaking Biden's basement somewhere where he plays with kitties. Israel, we're reading, is in the business of protecting Jews. That includes the offspring of European Jews, of the hundreds of thousands of Jewish refugees expelled from their homes throughout the Middle East and North Africa in the late 1940s, of the Jews who escaped oppression in the Soviet Union, of Ethiopian Jews escaping starvation, and many other Jews. In a world that has repeatedly and dramatically threatened the lives of Jews and or failed to protect them, Israel's role as a protector is especially important, and it's an especially tough task when your neighbors are continually plotting to murder your people. Few modern nations live in such constant tension. And please, save your complaints about how being critical of Israel isn't anti-Semitic. No serious person has ever argued otherwise. Israel, like any liberal democracy, has had both left-wing and right-wing governments over the years. Some of those governments have been incompetent or corrupt. Some have been misguided. Some have made huge mistakes. But Israel isn't like so many of its repressive Arab neighbors, or like Iran, a nation for which progressives can't muster any anger, in that millions of Israelis express criticism of their own nation's policies every day without any fear of repercussions. You remember that wrestler who spoke out against the governor or the government of Iran, the Iranian wrestler? He was put to death. He was famous, a famous wrestler. They killed him. They killed him. You don't hear about that no more. It was out of the news in like 3 days. Thank you, CNN. We're so glad you and the Ayatollah are such butt buddies. It's the truth, and it's absolutely ridiculous. When looking at how people are talking about Israel right now, perhaps the best way to gauge the difference between ordinary criticism and anti-Semitism is to use the Israeli politician and former Soviet dissident Natan Sharansky's 3D test. 1. Are critics engaged in delegitimization of the nation's very existence? Indeed, they are. That's 1. 2, are critics engaged in demonization of the country and the people? Yeah, 2. Check. That's 2. Are critics employing double standards by saying by obsessing over a Jerusalem property dispute making its way through the courts while ignoring the authoritarianism, brutality, and corruption of Palestinian governments, or the abuse of minority populations by the Turkish, Sudanese, or Chinese regimes, and many more around the world? Indeed, they are. That's 3. That's 3. And we can see that here in our own news with everything. There's a horrifying double standard. Rules for me, but not, or rules for thee, but not for me. The left doing whatever they want, while anybody on the right, and God forbid their skin color was white, is persecuted for anything, everything, and all that they've ever done. Hell, they didn't even have to be alive to be persecuted. If your great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy lived in Ireland somewhere and wasn't here, but you happen to be white, you're screwed. Doesn't matter the truth. What matters is the feelings, and their feelings are hurt, and so they apparently have to hurt you to feel better. In its simplicity, in its tiny, most minuscule, most dug-down, simplistic state, it's probably what it is. Feels really good to hurt somebody, doesn't it, lefties? In a growing precinct of the left, Israel is singled out for opprobrium. Well, other than the United States, anti-Zionism has created an intolerably hostile environment for many Jews in Europe. In Israel itself, anti-Zionism takes the form of rockets aimed at civilians, something nobody here deals with on a daily basis. It is now fueling anti-Semitism, including violent attacks on Jews in the United States. Perhaps historically the safest place the Jews have ever lived. So here we are, folks, and if you didn't know, you know now, Jews are being attacked on the streets of most major Democrat cities in this country. All right? It is 1932. What are you doing about it? Who are you talking to? And how are you solving the problem? We must come together and work on this. This is the taboo topic that nobody is talking about. These are the subjects people are afraid to speak of for persecution. Well, I am a Jew. I will speak up on it. The American Reveille will speak up on it. We will overcome the competition, and we will be a success in the face of this oppression. And if you want to help out, if you want to be a part of that too, do me a favor and consider giving us a small donation. Consider, even if it's cryptocurrency, head over to the AmericanReveille.com. It's in the description section below, the website link, or just hit the support us tab in the description section below. Or look, it's right here. You could literally go to the website. It looks like this, right? And you hit this support us tab and it opens this up. You can go on PayPal. We've got like Dogecoin addresses, SafeMoon QR codes and addresses, Bitcoin, Monero, all that. If you want to give crypto, we take crypto. If you could go on PayPal and give us a small donation, we'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. We are hurting. We've been pummeled behind the censorship wall, and I've been putting tens of thousands of my own dollars into this company to make it into something. And frankly, I'm hurting. I'm hurting for cash, and we have to fund the Reveille. We have to keep it going. We have all of these great things coming up, plans for the sticker competition, the release of the new website, the street teams, all of the different plans we have, and they will become a reality, but we need your help. So please head to AmericanReveille.com, hit the support us tab, give us a small donation if you can. If you can't, all I ask of you is to share this and talk about the American Reveille with people that you know and even people that you don't know. I need the word of mouth. I need you to spread the word about the Reveille. Patriots across this country need to see our work. They need to wake up, and we need your help. All right. But if you can, we greatly, greatly appreciate your support. And of course, if you don't want to do it like that, you can always support our sponsor, Ancient Life Oil, ancientlifeoil.com, promo code James. It gives you free shipping and handling. If you support them, they'll stick with us. That means they'll help us out, give us a small payment every month that helps us cover our expenses on the back end. Doesn't cover all the expenses, but it surely helps. It surely helps. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Follow us on all of our social media. Again, American_Reveille on all of our social media. It's easy to find me, man. It's so easy to find me. But we're not done yet. It sounds like we're done, but we're not done yet because we haven't tied it together. We talked all about how Jews are being attacked in our cities. We talked about how the narrative is being manipulated by the left, how they're literally driving low information, low IQ humans globally to attack Jews, how the Jews are the indicator, the canaries in the coal mine, how we are dropping dead and sounding the alarm bells, all right? The socialists are coming, the Marxists are coming, the Nazis are coming. It's the woke left. What more proof do you need? We've talked about this, but now we're going to build the connection. We're not done. We're not done. We talked about the attacks in all the different cities by pro-Palestinian groups. We talked about the hypocrisy, the double standard. Now we're going to talk about the woke racism. I dug up this article by Paul Miller, the president and director, the executive director of the Haim Solomon Center from 7/21/2020 on Newsweek, of all places, called Woke Racism, Jewish Privilege. All right. This has been out. This has been a thing. This has been the Mein Kampf of the left, the hidden final solution of the left for years, ladies and gentlemen. And it's starting to surface. We need to read this. We need to talk about this. If you enjoy what we're doing right now, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, guys. I need you to do it. I need it. I need it. If you're listening, give me a 5-star review. And if you could just do anything at all, just share this. Share this with people. Even send it in an email or subscribe to the newsletter. That helps too. It's all in the description section below. You've got 5 minutes. Help a patriot out, my fellow patriot. We're going to read Hit It. On a recent Sunday afternoon, hashtag Jewish privilege was trending on Twitter. What does that even mean? To be a Jew in America apparently means you're privileged to be the most targeted ethnic group, most targeted religious group in the country. This is according to the FBI. Jewish students on college campuses have had the privilege of being victimized in more than 175 incidents of anti-Semitism so far this year, notes the anti-Semitism watchdog group AMCHA initiative. Is it a privilege that in 2019 over half of the hate crimes in New York City were committed against Jews? Maybe it's growing up hearing stories about your relatives murdered by the Nazis, or during the pogroms that ravaged the Jews of Eastern Europe. Anti-Semitism is a privilege only in Orwellian doublespeak. I grew up as a poor Jew. I didn't come from a family with money. We don't have money. I used to get the crap kicked out of me. I used to get jumped by different groups of people, by minority groups. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter what they are, but it's the truth. It happened. I grew up in poor neighborhoods. All right. So you're a Jew and you're poor. You're a poor kike. That's what they would call me. A poor kike. You remember that word? Yeah. I remember that word. I remember that word with sneakers kicking me in the teeth. So I'm really, really, really tired of the false narrative. And I'm sure many Jews are too in this country and around the world. We're reading, the latest form of Jew hatred began just a few years ago. I recall flyers posted on the campus of the University of Illinois at Chicago, of course, in the spring of 2017 that read, "Ending white privilege starts with ending Jewish privilege." Wow, that sounds familiar. The flyers depicted Jews at the peak of a pyramid of wealth, claiming that 44% of Jews were in the top 1%. Could I have some? Where's my Jewish allowance? The horror in this story is not, God, Yahweh, where's my Jewish allowance? I've never seen it. I'd like some, but I've never seen it. I'm sure a lot of other Jews are in my boat as well. The horror in this story is not the falsehood of the statistics, but that the goal of the flyers was to elicit hatred towards the Jews. The flyers reflected a disdain for Jews shared by anti-Israel organizations on campus and their leftist allies who preach intersectionality, proffered as a common bond of all putatively oppressed groups. This ideology links Muslim groups with radical feminists and progressive organizations whose goals might have nothing in common other than the abhorrence of Israel and Jews who don't fall in line with their far-left ideology. Get that? Intersectionality is the stitching together of hate groups with pretend good groups in this country, so that they can form, all right, like almost like Operation Human Shield. Like the hate groups can literally go in using the mask, the disguise of a feminist group or of BLM or of these false good causes. And they hurt people under, like literally, they'll hold a flag of freedom while stabbing you in the throat. I mean, that's literally the hypocrisy of it. It's so far from what it is. All right. The name of these groups, the doctrine of the organizations, the way they operate. All right. They say they're going to do good things, and then they literally go kill your grandma. That's literally how far apart they are from what they say they are. All right. And it comes from the stitching together of these groups. You have so many people that follow these groups that think they're actually doing good things. They have no idea that they're causing children to die. And if you think that these groups don't cause children to die, you are living a lie. You're living a lie. That's just what it is. All right. It's just what it is. If there is any silver lining in the anti-Jewish trend that is the Jewish privilege Twitter hashtag, is that Jews from across the political spectrum took to social media and fought back. Jews reclaimed the hashtag by sharing their encounters as Jews and the anti-Semitism they've experienced. But the fact that in 2020, Jews had to take to modern media platforms to combat Jew hatred is disturbing. Hashtag Jewish privilege was used by so many to express hatred for the Jewish people that it was publicized by Twitter as a trending hashtag. Hashtag Jewish privilege is the voice of the woke racist, the college-age hip bigot who protest against the police and vandalize statues of historical figures. Practitioners of intersectionality, they have bought into the age-old blame the Jews mentality. White privilege is bad and Jewish privilege is even worse? What? Everybody should have equality in what they're doing, not equity. That's bull. Equity is real racism, is real hate, is actual oppression. But equality is what we strive for, not privilege. Everybody has equal rights. Plain and simple. Are there pockets of BS? Of course there are. Those need to be dealt with. But the system does not need to be overthrown with an evil system that will cause the death, destruction, and hate of more people than ever in the history of the world. Hundreds of millions will be oppressed by this system. Trust me. You go, oh, but there's only hundreds of millions there now. Yeah, you'll see. Just watch. Don't speak up. Just sit down. Do nothing about all this. Nothing. Just go to work. Hope for the best. And you'll see what happens. Hundreds of millions. Or you could do the right thing like a patriot, like an American. And you can open your mouth, use your First Amendment right to speak up against anti-Semitism, to speak up against the woke radical left. This new hatred is only the tip of the iceberg. Jewish privilege means always having to say you're sorry. Sorry for all the sins immortalized in centuries-old canards that continue to flourish in America and around the world. Never apologize to the left, folks. That's trick one. When a bully's bullying you, you don't say you're sorry, or they bully you every day. You punch the bully in the mouth. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan used his annual Criterion speech to blame Jews for the ills of the world, preaching hate-filled lies about Jewish control and power to over 1 million people on YouTube. One wonders how many new woke bigots were born out of his fire and brimstone about Satan, Farrakhan's trademark reference to the Jews. You know, somebody else hated the Jews and spoke of it. His name was Adolf Hitler. So why aren't we looking at Louis Farrakhan the same way? Well, Farrakhan was spewing his hate. Deshaun Jackson of the NFL's Philadelphia Eagles shared a vile anti-Semitic quote falsely attributed to Hitler. Great, now I can never watch Silver Linings Playbook again. I love that movie. Right before the Farrakhan and Jackson tirades, Nick Cannon, host of the Fox show The Masked Singer, sat down with longtime anti-Semite rapper Richard Griffin for an anti-Semitic gab fest. After outrage, you remember that, guys? I remember that. After outrage by the Jewish community and a few media outlets, Cannon reluctantly apologized, but the damage was done. How many young people absorbed the hate and ignored the apology? Hashtag Jewish privilege is not the only new weapon of anti-Semitism. Blaming Jews for global tragedies has resurfaced anew in the age of COVID-19. Why don't you go and take a look at the Great Reset, ladies and gentlemen? Go to the Great Reset, the World Economic Forum website. It's there, worldeconomicforum.org. You dig real deep, and you'll start finding some real disturbing stuff, blaming some things. You'll start putting some pieces together and go, oh my God. Worldwide genocide? Could it be? Could we have worldwide genocide? Why don't you go ask the new George Soros, ladies and gentlemen? There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, all right? And they are being fueled by hate. They hate minorities. They hate Jews. They think they are the perfect people. They are the elites. They are trying to burn all of us so that they can continue to profit and live in their own utopias. Are you out of your mind, lefties? Everybody. Us fighting each other isn't the thing that we should be doing. We're being made to fight each other. You should pay closer attention, folks. There's other videos I have on the World Economic Forum, on the Great Reset. They're all coming from factual documents. I'm telling you, DuckDuckGo it, Google it, do whatever you have to. Go to the worldeconomicforum.org site. It's there. You will find stuff that will shake you, chill you, disturb you, and creep you out to the core. Ladies and gentlemen, according to researchers we're reading again at Cantor Center at Tel Aviv University, the pandemic has unleashed a unique worldwide wave of anti-Semitism that includes a range of libels that have one common element. The Jews, the Zionists, and or the state of Israel are to blame for the pandemic and or stand to gain from it. No, ladies and gentlemen, and you can ask the left on this. You can look at CNN on this. You can take a look at all the reports on this. No, ladies and gentlemen, the result of COVID-19 was most likely a lab in Wuhan, China. That's why they call it the China virus. Shout out Hodge twins. A study conducted in May by Oxford University found that over 19% of the British public believe that Jews are responsible for the pandemic. No privilege in 1/5 of the population blaming you for a deadly virus, is there? Jews are in a lose-lose situation. Israel's a worldwide leader in the race to treat and cure COVID-19, yet every anti-Israel government, from the Palestinian Authority to the Iranian regime, blames the Jewish state for the virus spread. Iran even claims Israel created an extra deadly strain just for the Iranian people. Wow. It's disturbing enough that millions, if not more, blame the Jews for this virus. If the Israelis cure COVID-19, the anti-Semites would have a field day. The old libel of Zionist control and profit will dominate news headlines, be embraced by radical leftists and far-right groups, and have its own hashtag on Twitter. The concept of a privileged class, whether white privilege, Jewish privilege, or black privilege, must be called out for what it actually is. Any privileged class is real racism, ladies and gentlemen. It's real racism. And that's what we're experiencing as Jewish folks, as white folks, and as Republicans, libertarians, conservatives, anybody on the right that disagrees with the radical leftist agenda of death to America. We are being oppressed. All right, folks, that's episode 147 of the American Reveille Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a long one, but it was an important one. I wanted to weave it together. We talked about the Democrat-run cities falling into disgusting hatred, into the attacks on Jews having an effect on the Jewish community across this country and across the world, attacks on Jews globally. We talk about where it's coming from, where it's going, and how the woke lie facilitates this hate, and how if we don't stop what's happening, we are in for a wild ride on the highway to hell. Folks, please do me a favor. Like this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, share this podcast, comment on this podcast, man. I need your help. Share it, talk to people about it, do what you can. Like I said before, if you can, please spare a couple dollars, head over to the support us tab and donate to the American Reveille so we can put that money back into the company and spread the word across this great nation. We're delivering you the entertainment that the other guys are afraid to bring you. I've got nothing to lose. I'm a poor Jew from South Florida, ladies and gentlemen, living up in the Pacific Northwest in the deep blue utopia hellhole, bringing you the truth, folks, and I need your support. We're on Gab, we're on MeWe, we're on Parler, we're everywhere. American_Reveille. We need writers. We need new bloggers. You want to blog for us? I need you to send me a writing sample. James Lane at AmericanReveille.com. James Lane at AmericanReveille.com. Send me a writing sample. We'll have a meeting and you can blog for the American Reveille, guys. We need some folks that are savvy with tech. If you know how and can update websites, what I'm talking about is populating the articles. For example, taking an article from a WordPad document or from another website and recreating it on a new website on WordPress. I need some help updating the site, and that's a paid gig. James Lane at AmericanReveille.com if you have those chops, folks. I need you to subscribe to the newsletter. You'll get all of the information from the previous week and what we're doing with the company and what we need from you. It's very simple. You go to the website, hit the subscribe button, and sign up there, or just go straight below in the not in the notification, but in the description section. Like I said, I've got everything there. All right. I thank you so much. All right. I really do. I appreciate the privilege to be able to present this stuff to you, but I need your help. So I'm asking you to subscribe on social media, subscribe on the alternate video platforms, spread the word about the American Reveille. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, subscribe there, give us a 5-star rating, leave a review, spread the word. Like I said, share. Subscribe to the newsletter so you get the heads up on the $200 sticker competition coming up and the launch of the new website. Like I said, if you can write, if you've got the chops, if you got the website chops, email me, jameslane@AmericanReveille.com. I need your help. We have so much going on. I look forward to bringing you all the great surprises I've planned for you in the future, and I can't wait to bring you the next Reveille. Make sure you check out our sponsor, folks, Ancient Life Oil, ancientlifeoil.com. Stick around for an extra 2 or 3 minutes after this episode. We are showing a little ad that I put together that's going to give you all the extra info you need on it if you're not convinced yet. I take this stuff. It's good for you. It's pure CBD oil. Ancientlifeoil.com. Promo code James. Get you free shipping and handling. I love you all. I'll see you on episode 148. Bye. Let me get your attention for a second. I want to tell you about something. I want to share something with you that's very near and dear to me. All right, guys? I have joint pain. I'm sure it's no secret by now, all right? I have joint pain, I have hip pain, I have elbow pain, I have inflammation, all right? I get stressed out. I'm going through so much political news doing this podcast, so much. You can imagine how stressful that is, all right? How much anxiety that can cause, how many sleepless nights I have. But folks, I've been taking CBD oil for a while now. All right, for a while now, and it's fantastic. And a while ago, just a little while ago, I came across Ancient Life Oil, all right? And I got it from ancientlifeoil.com. And this stuff is fantastic, all right? It's the best source, the best and most trusted source for CBD oil in the United States. It's 100% pure. It's 100% THC free, no psychoactive effects, no high, nothing like that, just pure CBD, pure relief from all of those issues, relief from sleeplessness, relief from anxiety, relief from stress, from inflammation, right? Relief from joint pain, relief from all of these things that could really hinder your daily life, your daily activities, really put you in a bad place. This stuff lifts your mood up. It's fantastic. All right, it's legal in all 50 states. People are really experiencing wonderful change in their life, basically doing something that people have been doing for thousands of years, guys. If you head to ancientlifeoil.com, ancientlifeoil.com, the same place I went, all right, the same place I went to get the stuff, you can go on there, use promo code James, James, at ancientlifeoil.com, ANCIENT, Life Oil, ANCIENT, lifeoil.com, promo code James, James, promo code James. Free shipping and delivery, folks. Free shipping and delivery. Guys, this is a great product. You are missing out if you need to do CBD and you're just not doing it for some reason, guys. I don't know what's stopping you anymore. It's 2021. Folks, if you want relief from these issues, you want to do it in a natural way without taking medications, you want to do it in a way that's helpful. I have found CBD oil to be very beneficial, and I believe it will be very beneficial for you as well. So one more time, ancientlifeoil.com, ANCIENT, lifeoil.com, promo code James, free shipping and delivery, folks. Give it a shot. I really, really know it'll make you a believer just like I am. All right, folks, let's get back to the show.